Ladies and gentlemen, when the 1980 Canadian Olympic men's hockey team was going to return to play, because obviously with 72 and 76, Canada boycotted because NHL pros were not being allowed in. We knew they were going to have to do something. NHL players were still being banned, even though the Russians were pro players and some of the other European squads. But there was some talk that this player was going to be a big part of 1980 Team Canada. And this was kind of a weird thing. There was discussion if which Anderson would make the team. Well, we know that Glenn Anderson made the team, a future Stanley Cup winner with Edmonton several times over, a great NHLer for a number of years, was a key player with Toronto and different other squads. But this other Anderson was probably the most decorated player of his era in university play in Canada. And to have him on defense was such a benefit that we're still wondering why this guy never eventually played in the NHL. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about one of the best stay-at-home defensemen in Canadian collegiate history, a four-time winner of the national title with the Toronto Varsity Blues, Hall of Famer with them, of course, and a player that I think, again, one of the most underrated skaters in Canadian history, Warren Anderson. Now, Warren Anderson, again, born in Toronto, 5'10", 183, a great left shot. Played with Team Canada not only at the 1980 Winter Olympics, but the 84 games as well. Now, prior to the Olympics, he played with the Oshawa Generals, where he had a very solid career in 1970 and 71, putting up 34 points in 115 games, including 7 goals and 23 assists. Now, he eventually made his way to the University of Toronto, and there's where his big legacy occurred. Anderson helped the Varsity Blues to 4 Ontario titles and 4 national titles during his illustrious career at U of T. After claiming his first 2 titles in his rookie season in 72, Anderson led the team to back-to-back OUAA and CIAU titles in 72-73 and was named both an OUAA All-Star and a CIAU All-Canadian for his efforts. In 74, he was the team captain and won the Dr. William A. Defoe as the team's MVP and guarded his second provincial All-Star nod. Now the Blues bounced back to claim the 1975 OUAA and CIAU crowns, and Anderson received his third consecutive All-Star nod that season. Now, after a 1-year hiatus, he rejoined the team to win his 4th NB and Ontario and national banner in 1977. Now, his success did not stop there. Anderson, who again was a member of the Canadian national team that got 6th at the 1980 Olympics, and he just missed the medals with a 4th at the 84 Olympics in Sarajevo. Now, he was inducted in UT Hall of Fame in 2013. Now, 74 campaign, he also played 2 games with Aurelia Terriers of the OHA senior squad, and also spent some time in Europe playing with a Swiss A team back in 1984. Now, just to recap what happened here, he played in Malmo in the Swedish League in 1976, then returned to University of Toronto in 1977. Now, he played with Yorkshire of the Swiss League for 2 seasons, but again with the Canadian national team, put up 5 points in 1984. 1980, he had 1 goal in 6 games at the Olympics, while in 84 he had played 7 games with no goals and no assists and no penalty minutes, but was a big part of the defense. Wasn't the biggest player on the ice, but was one of the most craftier. He was well known for clearing out his crease, and there's many photos, like you see on this podcast, of Anderson moving out some of the tougher players that were trying to ruin the cage for Team Canada. But Warren Anderson, boys, see him play, he never made a mistake. Now, Team Canada 1980 had some veterans on defense and some good defensive players, but Anderson really stands out, especially with the good results he had, where we almost bet the Russians. We lost 6-4, and a lot of people believe we softened up the soften up the Russians for the Americans, because Tretiak, again, didn't have the biggest tournament that year, and he wasn't the best against us as well. But I think that's the best sixth-place team in Olympic history, because Team Canada could have easily had a medal then, but they weren't scoring enough goals. It was a team made for the trap and defense, and Anderson was a big part of that. And you should be very proud, because I saw them play in several of the lead-up games in 1980. And again, Anderson, again, a nice quarterback on defense, is almost like Rod Langway without Rod Langway scoring the goals. So Warren Anderson, big respect for me, big respect for the fans of Team Canada 1980, and one of the unheralded great players in University of Toronto sports history and Ontario hockey history. Warren Anderson, again, an Olympian 2 times over and this close to 2 medals for Team Canada. Thanks for listening. Bye.